through LinkedIn every minute. You can use LinkedIn to build your professional brand, showcase your personality, and of course, network. So just to kind of give you a profile checklist, we'll go over each of these sections. So you want to include a professional photo, a headline, a summary section. We'll talk about some relevant sections to include, such as volunteer work, honors, awards, projects, organizations, publications. Honestly, whatever section makes sense for your industry or career field. We'll go over recommendations and endorsements as well. So first, we start with a professional photo. A LinkedIn profile is 21 times more likely to get viewed with a picture. So your picture should include you smiling. Of course, it's a given. Photo is from the elbows up, and you are looking directly at the camera, not away. I will stress that the background setting is also important. Your clothing is appropriate to your industry, and your photo has been taken within the past 2 years. So these are just some examples here for you, some additional examples. You don't have to get a professional to get a good headshot. Even having a friend take one in a well-lit area with a cell phone would work as well. Just make sure that the picture is clear. Next, we talk about the headline. So the headline is the first thing recruiters see. Also connections, but it's more importantly seen by recruiters. So a headline is super short, sweet, to the point. You have a maximum of 120 words for this headline. So a catchy and specific headline is a must. So you want to try to include things like, who are you? How do you help? Who do you help? And think about keywords that describe your ideal career or position. So Austin here, he has right away, I help people land amazing jobs without applying online. So right away, we know what he does and how he helps, who he helps, and invites people to connect with him. Some other examples here for you. Sarah, for example, down here on the bottom corner, she says, I help high performers land amazing jobs. So right away, you know who she helps, how she helps. And then some other keywords as well: interview coach, resume writer, LinkedIn branding. So try to kind of think about those key terms for your headline. If you're trying to target a specific role, try to kind of look at those job descriptions, what's jumping out at you. That's kind of important for that type of role, and include that in your headline. The summary section now, let's talk about that. Potential connections will look at your summary, not so much your recruiters, although yes, they do look there, but your summary is for your connections. This is where they're going to look to see, okay, is this person going to add value to my network? You can include things like, what type of career are you passionate about? You can talk about your career path. If you're making some sort of career pivot, you can say, hey, I've done this up to this point, but I'm looking to pivot, utilize my skills in this other area. So you can kind of expand on that where you are. You can expand on your areas of expertise, any personal interest in it. Some people throw that on there, others are not comfortable with it. That's okay. Some people go into volunteer work that they've done, and then any awards that they've received as well. So you can get a little personal here. It doesn't have to include like an entire resume, for example. Again, you can get a little bit more personal. So here's a couple more examples for you guys. Katie here, she's a real estate agent. She keeps it very personable, right? So hers is drastically different than the IT professional over here, which has his areas of expertise very plainly bullet pointed and laid out. So just kind of, it really depends. It's very subjective on like who you are, what career you have, and what you're trying to target as an individual. So moving on, your education section, you do want to keep that professional, of course, with schools, colleges, universities that relate to your profession. So while adding a school name in your education section, you can consider these tips. You can add extracurricular activities that you participated in while attending that school or college. In activities and societies text box. And you'll see that when you go to add in your education. You can enter any awards that you received from college as well in the description. And you also have, not just in the education section, but in your profile overall, you can add rich media, such as like photos, videos, links, or documents to showcase your proud moments while you're attending the school or again in your professional field. So if I really wanted to, I could throw this PowerPoint on my LinkedIn just to showcase that as well and give you an idea there. So you can really kind of pick and choose what you put under each of these sections as it relates to, again, what your target job is and what you want to highlight as a professional. So I want to talk about the experience section because a lot of people think that the experience section is kind of like a carbon copy of your resume, where you have bullet points, where you talk about each of your job duties. That's not necessarily the case. So unlike your resume, your LinkedIn work experience entries do not have to be bullet pointed, but instead should consist of about 2 to 4 sentences highlighting your accomplishments in that role. So what will be similar to a resume is that you want to quantify any accomplishments that you're able to. So if you increase sales by 30% by this particular marketing strategy, you can put that in there. So just try to think about how did you add value to this experience and how can I showcase that in my LinkedIn profile within about those 2 to 4 sentences. So let's talk about skill endorsements. These are really, really cool. So your skill section basically tells others what you can do. So it also assists as you can include keywords that make you searchable as well. So if you're looking to target a particular job and let's just say, they want some social selling skills. And you have social selling skills, maybe including that under your skills section might benefit you if you're going for a role that needs that skill set. Now, these are best practices to consider while adding skills to this section. You don't want to add just common skills like Microsoft Word or Paint. You can, of course, but you can also add skill badges as well, which you can do in a skills assessment section under the jobs tab, which I'll show you just a little bit later. But you want to add industry relevant skills. So again, like social selling, LinkedIn expert, entrepreneur. So like things that, again, are industry specific, but also pertain to the role that you want to go for. And then what's really nice is that people like your network, the people that you're connected to, can endorse your skills. So if I say that I'm a LinkedIn expert, my manager can come into the to my LinkedIn profile and give me an endorsement in that skill. So it'll kind of show up like this. So you see social selling endorsed by Shane Gibson. Recruiters will be able to see that as well. So you can ask for skill endorsements. You can also consider going to somebody's page to give a skill endorsement, to get a skill endorsement. So Yeah, these are really great, again, just to showcase those skills. You also, I would recommend, they only show 3 on your LinkedIn profile. Of course, you can add as many as you like, but the ones that are displayed are your top 3. So you could organize these skills by what's going to be most important to what you're trying to go for. So if, I wanted to, like, let's just say work for LinkedIn, maybe I would include, LinkedIn expert, LinkedIn speaker, on my LinkedIn profile to showcase that. So if somebody from LinkedIn happens to view that, they can see that those are some skills that I have that are endorsed by others as well. All right. So along with skill endorsements, you can also request recommendations on your LinkedIn profile as well. Now, what's amazing, consider these almost like letters of recommendation, but it's housed right on your profile, so anybody can see these. So the list of recommendations from senior officials and clients on your profile, affirming your skills and work styles, will enhance your profile and provide social authenticity to claim your expertise to others. Including recommendations on your profile can even increase your chances to be contacted by professional parties, and they even secure an interview with them as well. So it just makes you look a whole lot better, right? Because you're not only getting your skills endorsed, but you're also getting recommended by past coworkers, managers, other professionals on LinkedIn. Now, in order to get recommendations, again, you need to ask people to give you recommendations. But moreover, the best way again to get a recommendation is to give a recommendation and recommend others. So you can do that on a LinkedIn profile. When you go to somebody's profile under the More tab, right next to the message button, you can expand that down and you can either request a recommendation from them or recommend them. So write them a recommendation. So on LinkedIn, the basic type of connection is a contact that you know personally and who you trust on a professional level. So they should be people you know and trust personally and professionally. Now that may look like a current or former colleague, manager, a coach, teacher, a professor, or fellow classmates or alumni. Now, once you connected to them on LinkedIn, you are considered a first degree connection, which I'll kind of go over what first, second, and third degree connections look like here soon. But you also have an extended network of connections made out of people that your connections know. Again, I'll dive into that in just a minute. So to add a connection, you'll start by going to My Network. And there's a place where you can import your direct contacts using your email address. That's totally optional. Once you've optimized your LinkedIn profile, this will include suggested contacts for you based on where you went to school, where you worked, and what your job title or work industry is. Now, Rebecca is somebody that works in our office, so I can click connect to send her a connection request. Now, there's also pages and influencers included on this page as well that you can also follow. So again, I sent Rebecca a connection request on here, but it sent a connection request right away. There was no option to personalize a note. So if I go, just be one moment here. In this screen capture, I'm going to expand my connections here. There we go. And I'm going to find Allison. She works at Wabansi right over here. So in order to get the personalized note to give you that prompt, you have to go directly to their profile and hit that connect button. That will prompt you to add a note, which I definitely would recommend doing, especially if you're trying to connect with a second or third degree connection. So you can just say, hi, yeah, I enjoy working with you or your colleagues. Or if you, are reaching out to somebody, in your second degree connection, like, hey, I see that you're connected with Rebecca. I thought that we could get connected as well, because we both work in the same field. So adding that commonality could, also be a really great note to put in there. So once you have that in there, you can send it, and then, that request will be sent over for them. All right, so expanding your network. This is kind of where I'm going to talk about your first, second, and third degree connections. Now, before you start connecting with others, just first ask yourself, now would this person recommend me to an employer to discuss a job with me? Would this person grow my professional network? If the answer is yes, then by all means, go ahead and connect with them. Now, the quality of your connections are more important than the quantity. So having 50 strong connections is going to do more for your career than having 200 people you don't know very well or are in several different industries that don't pertain to you. So I mentioned first degree connections. These are the people that you're directly connected to. There's someone you decided to send an immediate invite to, and then they accepted the invite. You'll see a first degree icon next to their name in the search results on their LinkedIn profile. Second degree connections are people who are connected to your first degree connections. Think kind of like a friend of a friend, right? So you'll see a second degree icon next to their name in the search results as well. Third degree connections are the people that are connected to your second degree connections. And you'll see a third degree connection or third degree icon next to their name on the search results next to their profile. So again, I would recommend if you're connecting with anybody, actually, it's best to send that personalized message. And then just to kind of give you an idea of how to use these varying degrees, let's just say you add your prior manager who has a second degree connection at Microsoft. Hey, Microsoft's a company that you've been trying to get into, right? So you ask your prior manager, who's your first degree connection, if they'd be comfortable introducing you to that second degree connection who works at Microsoft. From there, okay, you get connected to the second degree, have a great conversation. You're like, hey, I want to get into Microsoft. You're like, you know what, let me set you up with a hiring manager who happens to be a third degree connection that's connected to them. So that's kind of a very basic idea of how you can leverage your connections to make other connections and to kind of get your foot in the door in a company that you're trying to get into, right? So again, you want to make sure that you add connections that grow your professional network, and that makes sense for your industry. This is not Facebook. You do not need to connect with every person you've ever met. The goal is not to add as many people as you possibly can, but network and get your name out there in industries you want to work in. You can even join groups that are relevant to your industry and forge connections from there as well. Now, if there's ever a time that you need a new job or you're looking to pivot careers, you can call upon your strong network to help you. And we'll get into just how to do that here. So this is our job searching section of our presentation. So we'll kind of talk about how we can use LinkedIn to search for a job. I will be sharing some screen captures here as well, so it'll provide a nice walkthrough. I will be sending this presentation out to everybody that registered, so you'll have it. So don't worry about scribbling the notes down. You'll get this. So, all right. Before you start your job search on LinkedIn, consider first updating your settings to show that you are open to work. ahead and play that. Start up at the top, profile icon to access your page. When you are on your profile, select open to. That'll give you the option to finding a new job. And then from there, a new screen will come up, of course. There's a few things you can do in this section. First, you can select the job titles that you're trying to target, like let's just say project management or software developer, or software programmer. You can put your workplace preferences in, your location preferences. Sometimes you can put worldwide if you're looking for like a remote job, or you don't care where you work. You can say I'm immediately and actively applying, or I'm just casually browsing. Full-time, part-time contract, and then this is really important. You can choose who sees your profile. So if you select all LinkedIn members, you get this nice little banner that says open to work. Anybody can see that. So your connections, recruiters, anybody can be open to that. But once you select recruiters only, only people that are using specifically the LinkedIn recruiter will be able to see that you're looking for a job. So I would recommend if you're currently gainfully employed and you're looking for a different role, but maybe you don't want to let your boss know and you're connected on LinkedIn, might be a good idea just to kind of switch over to recruiter only, just so that you won't have any awkward conversations. Or, you know, if you are, if you're actively searching and you want to let your network know, I definitely would recommend selecting that open to work banner. I was helping a job seeker update his LinkedIn this way. So I had him do open to work, that nice banner came up. And then when that happens, when you select that option, it prompts you to create a post on your feed. And you can obviously announce that you are looking for a job. So 5 minutes into our Zoom session after we did that, he gets a connection that messages him directly and says, hey, I saw that you were open to work. I have a position I need to fill. I think that you'd be highly qualified. Boom, just like that, 5 minutes. It's awesome. So I definitely recommend updating your profile settings. And if you're comfortable enough, you know, letting the world see that you're open to work, I highly suggest that, just because more people will be able to help you. All right, so LinkedIn's job board. So let's go over LinkedIn's job board. The job board is one of the best out there because companies often post here to source new talent before adding positions to their other job boards. So once your profile is optimized, it will include jobs that are recommended for you. Or you can, of course, type that into the search bar as well. So you'll see a couple things come up here. You can alter your preferences. So, you know, date posted, company, you can, you know, choose your remote preferences, location preferences. And then what's really cool after you do that is you can switch that little set alert on there. It'll save those preferences and then it will send you emails based on those preferences. Some of these jobs, when you hit the apply button, will take you directly to the website. That is okay. There's also LinkedIn Easy Apply, which is specifically for like people using LinkedIn Recruiter. So what's nice about that is it is really easy. This is a very easy application. I didn't apply here, obviously. I'm not a software or an Angular developer, but you can see with these easy applies, it'll give you a recruiter to message. So you can kind of reach out in addition to applying and say, hey, I saw that you were looking for this particular position. I'm interested, I believe my skill set would be a really great asset to your company and to this role. All right. One thing I do want to mention as well, I got a little away from me here. Okay, so when you get to LinkedIn's job board, it'll have a couple different resources on the side. You may have seen that before it jumps directly to the job board, or before we searched here, but there's resources such as interview preparation. There's also the skill assessments as well that I mentioned earlier. I would recommend taking a few skill assessments, especially like, I know this is silly, but Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that value those skills. But what skill assessments do for you on LinkedIn is it gives you a LinkedIn endorsed skill badge. And it kind of dumps you into this pool that recruiters see, and they see that you have these skill badges. So it basically just helps you get seen a little bit more if you take those skill assessments. And they're pretty simple. I think I took PowerPoint the other day. It wasn't too terrible. So you can get through them pretty easily, but I would definitely recommend doing that as well. All right. So connecting with recruiters, I know I mentioned before on that LinkedIn Easy Apply that recruiters have a special LinkedIn account. You can reach out where they can reach out to job seekers to work to fill those positions that they have. Prior example is shown here. Now, if the job posting does not have a recruiter associated with it, which sometimes that happens, you can also do a people search as well, by typing in hiring manager or talent acquisition or recruiter and insert the company there. So if you find, like, let's just say, Oracle, you can do a people search. You can also, this is I think this is going to go into, the people right here. This is another way that you can do it. So you can find the human resources recruiters here. So you can pick what they do. And you can see here, okay, we've got Sasha, she's a technical sourcer. So we're trying to apply for a software developer role. She might be somebody that we talk to. So we can go to the company page, we can look under people, we can kind of filter out, okay, people that are in human resources, and we can find those recruiters. Now here I'm going to do a people search. So this is, I'm just going to go ahead and put in Oracle hiring manager. If I can't find what I'm looking for, this one looks like she specializes in veterans. So that may or may not be somebody that I want to talk to, depending if I'm a veteran or not. She might be able to direct you to somebody that might be able to better assist you. That's okay too. But I'm changing it up to talent acquisition here. I had a little bit of trouble getting that to come up with my LinkedIn. So then I switched it to recruiter. And I don't know why LinkedIn does this sometimes, but if you give it a little refresh, then these people come up. So Sasha, again, with our technical sourcer, it seems like she's kind of the best choice out here. So then we would want to, connect with her or message her and just say, hi, Sasha, my name is Ari. I'm a software developer. And if you have a second, I would love a chance to discuss how my software developer skills and experiences might meet your insert job title here, right? I have already applied to it. Thanks for connecting. I hope you have a great day. So you can add that note. I'm going to withdraw, obviously. Because I don't really want to connect with Sasha, but you kind of understand, again, if you connect with these recruiters, it's an additional step to getting that interview, which is, again, something that's really great about LinkedIn. So before we were on Oracle's page, so if there's a company that you're interested in working for as well, you can follow the company to see their posts, jobs, and updates. You can share and react and comment on their posts as well. What this does is it puts you on the radar of the company and lets recruiters know that you're super interested. So it just kind of shows extra engagement. So there's one of Oracle's posts. Like it, celebrate it, comment on it. Again, you're showing engagement, you're showing that you're invested in the company. All right. So one last thing here. This is setting up job alerts. So for Oracle, for example, we're going back to our here. I went to their company page, I went under jobs, and I just expanded this for see all jobs so that we get this. And then we kind of go back to what we were doing before. We set our specifications. And then once we're set, we can turn the job alert on. And you will get emails every time a new job posts to that company. So you can be one of the early applicants to a company that you want to look for, which I would highly recommend doing. If you see on here again, you have a resume builder, job seeker guidance. I wish this would pause, but it's not pausing. Again, some of those other resources that I mentioned earlier. And this is just going back to setting up those job alerts. All right, moving on. So, again, you want to try to keep things professional. Post, share, comment, react to increase engagement and visibility. You want to share professional tips, inspiring stories, industry-specific news. Do not share anything personal or political. Remember that this is a professional networking site. Make use of multimedia as well. There is LinkedIn Learning Courses, has several topics for professional development as well. You can join a group like I mentioned to connect with others in the industry you're either in or looking to move into. And then you can do that under the network tab. I have personally followed influencers in my field, engaged with their posts, and again, that just helps increase visibility for you. So put your name out there, people are like, oh, what did she do? And people start to add you and because you add value to their network. And by doing that, your network grows as well. So that is my presentation. I really appreciate you guys coming in and listening to my presentation and participating here. This is our information. Those of you that are here tonight got a brochure as well. So if you wanted to talk about this in more detail or some of the other services that we offer, feel free to email me directly or give our office a call. We're more than happy to help you out with whatever you need. So I will kind of open it up to the floor. Are there any questions?
You don't have anything soon, yes.
Yeah, go on. There's one question presentation. I do have a limited page. I'm going to use some of your ideas for the
Great, thank you.
I noticed there's a free option and I think they've got a premium option. Is there any benefit to paying the fees or?
Yes. I mean, I feel like if you really are gonna use LinkedIn, that would be the benefit. You could also unlock some LinkedIn, like some really specific LinkedIn courses. You can connect more easily with recruiters. Your visibility increases. I know they have like several different packages. But I also know that it is expensive most time. So I know. So, you know, I would say you can leverage your LinkedIn network without having to do that. But if you really wanted to kind of take an extra step above and beyond and really use it, sure, there would be value in that, but I think you can get away with it without spending the extra $40 an hour. Absolutely. So, great question. Mhm. Any other questions?
Why?
We're good? Okay. Wonderful.
Somebody said, thank you so much,
Aw.
very valuable information.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And again, you guys will get a copy of this, so, you know, you can have those walkthroughs if you need them. I'll send that out probably tomorrow. I have all your emails, so I'll get that over to you, but, yeah, thanks so much for coming, you guys. I really appreciate your time today. Yes, go ahead.
In regards to your recommendations, I have letters of recommendation. I would still need to request that from them to post.
To post on your,
Correct.
yes,
Rather than me uploading the one.
correct, yes, because it has to come from their LinkedIn profile, in order for that to appear on yours. Mhm. Yeah, of course, that's a great question.
Can you upload such references into LinkedIn or?
You could.
You could, okay.
Yeah, absolutely, that would kind of fall under the multimedia bucket.
Okay.
Yeah, you can also upload your resume as well, cover letters, when you go to like edit your overall profile, there's a add section button and it's just crazy how much you can add. So play around with it. I don't have time to go over each of those sections today, but they do exist. So see what kind of works for you.
Okay, that's the assessment.
Uh-huh.
That's the skill assessment.
Yeah.
The LinkedIn. About, know someone's name, which is what we're using. Have those for you to do skills that we need.
So they do have like LinkedIn Learning where you can like take a course. And then after that course is done, you could say, you know, it'll come up on your profile like completed this course. But then they also have skills assessments, which is located under the job section. I can't speak to like how long each assessment is, because I haven't taken all of them. I can tell you that the ones I have taken have been, I would say at the most 20 minutes, depending on how much time you want to take on it. But I flew by one of them within like 5 minutes, so it really all depends. No, great question. Are we good?
Thanks for good.
All right.
So if you're like, oh, come on. All right, thank you so much. We can get one more round of applause, both live and virtual. Sorry. We appreciate you coming in. One plug I'll make for library resources is that if you have a library card with APLD, we actually have LinkedIn Learning library free of charge to completely. So that's a cool thing to do. I'll just throw that out there. Yeah, and one other thing is, for those of you in person, I know I told the Zoom audience this via chat, we do have a program evaluation, which we'll be sending to you. If you wouldn't mind filling it out, it helps us find more wonderful and amazing partners like Ari and WorkNet Batavia to do these programs with. So we always appreciate your feedback as we work to serve our community as best we can.